The monk!
Why does somebody want to have an interview with you?
I don't believe in relaxation. I like cappuccino. Air is suddenly liquid and I can breathe it. I got a little bit worried.
So, Loïc, nice to have you here and with Freedive Your Life, here in wonderful Sharm el Sheikh. Thank you for having time.
Thank you, Timo.
And yeah, for everybody who's watching and listening, actually, so this is Loïc. You maybe know him as the monk or deep Zen.
Yes.
Kosho.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Or I met him actually as the deepest monk in the world.
Yes, I have many names, yeah.
Yeah? So what do you like the most? So if you present yourself, what do you say? Who are you?
Yeah, well, I like people to call me Loïc. Mostly with all these names I have, I like the people choose the one that they can feel respectful, understand? Some people will call me master, and then it blocks because I have the feeling they're joking with it.
Okay.
Some people call me the monk. I mean, whatever they can call me that makes them happy, it's nice as long as we're not too much joking with my monastic condition. So generally, Loïc is just fine.
Okay, but you are a Zen master, right?
Yes, I am a Zen master since 2013.
2013.
Yes.
Okay, and so I just asked myself in the morning, and maybe you asked this yourself as well. Why does somebody want to have an interview with you?
Well, I'm eclectic eventually. Maybe I bring a different point of view on different aspects of life or practice or freediving in the present case. It's a little bit unusual, you know, like the monk, freediving monk. Wow, that is folkloric, eclectic. Maybe there is something fun, maybe there is something new.
Okay.
So eventually that's the purpose of your interview, to get some kind of like new, fun, weird, folkloric, eclectic stuff.
Okay, good. Well, just for you to know as well, I've been working for the last 7 days with Loïc, and it was an absolute pleasure to work with him. And I was writing him, I'm very curious on how you teach and what you do.
Yeah,
So
sure.
this curiosity, and we were just talking about that, which was very interesting. So if somebody is curious about you and what you do and comes to you and wants to maybe go for a course or a specific coaching, what do you think do they expect from you?
When the people are curious, like you clearly said to me, I'm curious, I got a little bit worried because most people are just keen to discover freediving, and then knowing that you study your subject before to come, you will choose carefully this instructor and not this instructor. When you said you're curious, I'm like, wow, what is he curious about? Because it's true that the panel of different teachings or lessons or subjects we can go in together is pretty wide. So I was like, okay, I was worried to be actually able to fulfill your curiosity.
Okay.
Okay, because it could be huge. Oh, maybe he wants to talk about Zen and spirituality and how do I integrate them both. I was like, wow, you better not say anything stupid. This guy is intelligent. Okay, so I was a little bit worried, but okay, I think it went super
Yeah.
cool.
Like as I told you before, for me, you're like a library.
Yeah.
And I just have to say, okay, what am I interested in this? And then you're opening it up, and then I actually see from my eyes, it's kind of a story, a colorful story that you can actually create with your words and with your presence as well.
Yeah, thank you.
So this is something special to actually kind of inhale all the stories, what comes behind it, what you can represent. Okay, so this was very special for me too. And we're talking about a specific topic. You actually told me you prepared about this already because you saw it in the other interviews. And so I will ask it right away, okay?
Yes, okay,
so,
cool.
Loïc, what is success for you?
Look, I prepared that answer. Not that I prepared it long, but look, as you said, I'm trying to be precise with words. And when someone asks me a question about a specific topic, I like to go back to what the word exactly means and what other words we have out of it. So success and succession are from the same root. And so I believe that the true success is linked to succession, and then true success is transmission. Okay. What is transmission? Is the fact that you receive a teaching from someone or receive something from someone and are able to at yourself transmit it again. Okay. If I take the example of Zen, because I'm successful in Zen, I became Zen Master. I was 35 years old and made like the entire community a bit surprised because very young to become Zen Master. So I received the succession from my master, and I will be a very successful Zen Master the day I will be able to transmit to my disciples, okay, and to let the follow-up of that teaching go and go. Now take, for example, a family. Your parents are successful when they have a child, okay? And when you have yourself a child, you make your parents successful, they become grandparents, and you become parents yourself, and so this succession, this transmission of life, of love happens. So for me, this is success,
okay.
Is the transmission. If you can transmit, then you really have the most precious gift life can offer.
Okay.
Beyond fame, beyond money,
okay.
Beyond...
But how is it for you? Are you successful in life?
Yes, very successful.
Yeah?
I mean, there is some subject where I could improve because, of course, for some people, success is you have a big car, you have a big house, and you don't have any financial difficulties. Mm-hmm. So, for example, there is aspects of success that I could improve, but I believe, yes, I'm a pretty successful person because I'm happy with what I do and what I can share.
So if I just take this right now, you say actually success is for you happiness as well.
Yes, totally.
So if you say you're happy with it, then the way that you, or the path that you're actually walking is the right path for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I actually feel that. Okay.
Yes.
When I'm working with you, you have a specific presence. You're there.
Ah.
Okay. It's not something that you read out of a book and you tell you, okay, do this and do this and do that. It's kind of you have your own teachings and your own way to teach.
Yes. When you say I'm a library, I definitely didn't read any of the books that are inside of that library.
Yeah, but you could write them.
Eventually, one day, when I have the time and define what is very important to transmit again, yes, I'll make the effort. But for now, I'm busy more with freediving and a little bit of competition, and my family life.
And when we talk about, everybody has a specific person in mind if they think about a monk. We just said yesterday, like, oh, you didn't tell me you were a monk. Yeah, but why? I mean,
yes, definitely.
You don't tell me that you were a soccer player or whatever. I mean, it's something else. It's not just a name or a branding or something. Yeah. But when I think about a monk, maybe I'm thinking about flying, okay? Just like lifting up, for example. And so I just have in mind, what the hell? Why don't you fly? Why do you actually go down? You're a freediver. You're going deep. You're deepest monk, you said. What is the point that you're actually diving? Why do you go to sea?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question. In my dreams, some people fly in their dreams. And they say, like, I am jealous. I'm jealous because I could fly one time in my dream. A friend of mine, monk, says, but it's easy to fly in your dreams. You stand on your toes and you inhale. So I tried one day because I can manage my dreams. I stand on my toes and inhale and I lifted of that, but then got so scared of that success in the dream that I fell again. Okay. But mainly when I have these dreams where I'm suspended out of gravity, I am swimming in the air. Okay, and the air is suddenly liquid and I can breathe it. Okay, so my unconscious is more because I'm a big guy, I'm heavy, Eventually, in my childhood, I suffered a little bit. I had moments where I was obese and stuff. And I'm a big mammal, let's say. I'm a big mammal. And so I feel more comfortable being a little bit extracted out of that gravity when I'm in the water.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe there is something about that. For example, you know, when you, I don't know you, but when you take, like, you go and ski and you take these ski lift things, the seats, okay? I'm having a little bit, when I was younger, no, but it came after many years of meditation. I don't know how it happened. Well, I know, but it's another subject. I started to develop fear of heights, okay? But I don't have that in the water, okay?
Ah, okay.
My father, my father stands on a chair and he has fears of heights. And when he came to Sharm el-Sheikh, I said, Dad, like, you must come and do at least some snorkeling and stuff. And he said to me, like, wow, I am looking at all this emptiness below me and I'm not falling. And this was actually healing his fear of heights.
Oh, okay.
So in a way, maybe there is a...
So what about your fear of heights? You said you had that.
Yeah, it's not that I have the opportunity to test it, really, but for sure, even when I see videos, you know, like now it's the trend, we have these guys walking on the side of a super high building. Whoa, my legs become like completely cold. And
okay, so you're talking about this physical sensation actually come up that you combined with
I
fear.
trained. I remember in Switzerland, I found that bridge that was like just, you know, this kind of metal grids. And I was really like, it was really difficult to walk it through. So I said to my wife at this moment, I'm going to make like few crosses. And I was like singing the sutras to try to to get over it. But
but now you're actually diving really deep, okay? So you're diving quite deep. So the deepest depth you have is 84?
85.
85,
yes,
okay. So it's 85.
Yeah.
So if we come to that point, and as you know, for me, numbers are not that important, okay?
Yes,
so I'm more like an explorer. I'm more into something else. This is what we were working with as well. So you actually, you talk about numbers. Numbers are quite present for you.
Yes.
Right? So what actually makes you dive that deep? And do you want to go deeper?
Yes. Numbers are important. For me, numbers are important. I made a lot of diets. Okay, and that's mainly the only books I've read from the last 10 years. It's like the diet of this guy, the diet of this guy, the diet of these guys. And they are all about numbers. How many kilocalories, how many minutes of cardio training. And some, they were even saying, you must know the numbers. Not that you need to get attached to it. Okay? It's nice to know the numbers. So ideally, I would like to reach 100 meters one day. Because it's the mythical number. And also because when I met Dan Verhoeven, hey Dan, I wanted to convince him to take some pics of me. And so I needed to impress him because I was nobody. And the fact to be just a monk was a little bit just folkloric for Dan. Like, wow, okay. And I said to him, I'm the deepest monk in the world. And he says, how deep you dive? And this time I was diving 50, and I say, I dive 50. And he said, you're halfway. And I was like, okay, if I only want to pretend an achievement out of that diving peregrination I'm doing, to reach 100 would be okay, this is it. I can offer this number to Switzerland, my country, which will be like part of the countries having national records with 3 digits. And there is that sentence saying, you know, there is like more guys who went to space that went to 100 meters deep. And this is a funny story. When I was a child, I said to my dad, what do you want to do when you like grown up? I want to be an astronaut. And he said, oh, forget about it. You're way too big to fit the capsule. And also, if I cannot enter the capsule to go in outer space, if I go to 100, maybe I'll fix that little frustration of my childhood and liberate my dad out of it.
There's some expressions actually saying you can be a pulmonaut.
A pulmonaut.
Yeah, so it's actually working with your breath and your lungs as well.
Yeah,
so it goes like this is
depth
50% of an astronaut, all right?
Okay. Yeah.
But there are different depths, okay? There are depths in the water, there are numbers, there are really physical depths that we're talking about, yes. But what about like really mental depths? So if I'm thinking about you as a monk as well, a lot of people are asking themselves like, oh wow, he can be super relaxed in meditation. What is it that you can actually forward others to maybe enjoy more the moment, to be relaxed? Is there like one specific technique you'd like to give them?
Recognize. I don't believe in relaxation, okay? I can be more relaxed, no. I can identify, observe, that comes out of many thousands of hours of meditation, how to observe what is happening in you. Relaxation is a passive process, and relaxation is the process of surrendering, abandoning, going beyond the stress. If you don't identify your stress, you don't recognize it, you won't be able to relax. Like the guys who are like, like when you are like with your lady and eventually one is a little bit pissed and you say relax, a complete opposite effect will happen. It's like an order more. When you try to reassure yourself, oh, it's okay, I did that dive during training, it's okay, it's gonna go okay. No. All this won't work, okay? Like our natural condition is to be relaxed. And if you believe that relaxation is something you're gonna put on top of your natural condition, then what you call relaxation is actually stress. You're putting pressure on top of you to be relaxed. When you do that, you pile more and more obstacles. So the first real point is to observe your feelings, to observe yourself, and to recognize you are stressed. Okay, in the daily life doesn't mean like you eventually, like you say something I don't like. It's not, I recognize that Timo is not nice with me. Okay, no. I recognize that my feelings are hurt. I recognize that I feel anxious. I recognize this. Once you recognize, automatically, naturally, spontaneously, you start to rest. The stress is you. There's nothing coming from
So actually the practical part would be, for example, before diving, preparation, or while diving, I actually go into the mode of being an observer.
Yes.
Apart from telling myself, relax, it's okay, relax, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's kind of,
it's no
hey,
use
what's happening there? What's happening in my body? What's happening in my mind?
Yeah.
And now you kind of mentally level up.
Yeah.
And you just observe it.
Yeah.
Right?
I told you during the course, for me, good sensations are no sensations. I particularly am very vigilant when I feel cool before a dive. Wow, this dive is going to be easy. Ooh, careful. Because it's always more difficult to let go of agreeable feelings than difficult feelings. Okay? So if I feel like, wow, if I'm not, let's say, I'm not stressing before a dive, I have nothing to let go of. Okay? Or I have to let go of that certitude, confidence. This is like more difficult.
Okay.
More difficult. And then obviously depends when the stress will come. You know, my first competitions, I was stressed like mad the day before. Okay. And then the stress came just 1 hour before, and then during the 10 last seconds of the countdown. So you make that process of going to recognize this stress all the way to the moment you change element. And then when you've made that work of recognizing the stress, you can bring that capacity of recognition of yourself back in time. Okay? And so you can be relaxed 10 seconds before, half an hour before, an hour before, and already be relaxed few days before, because you know the process of just recognizing it. I mean, like, we have to be compassionate with our stress. It has the right to exist. If you don't leave it the space to exist, it will just ask more. It's exactly like your ego.
It will actually take over.
The problem with the ego is not the presence of the ego, it's all the boundaries you put it around it. and then it feels prisoner. So it asks for freedom, and then you're like, you know what I mean?
So if we come to a point for example, beginners, okay, many things for you, I think they're from beginners till maybe advanced athletes as well, maybe some pro athletes can take something out for them. So if you want to point out one message, especially for beginners, because you know a lot of them are really focused on numbers, on deep, and they ask you, how deep do you go? And only if you go past this one, then you're good and bad, or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Like being the best, we had this the other day. I want to be the best, I want to keep up the best of them all, okay?
Yeah.
Comparison.
Yeah.
What kind of message do you want to give to beginners of freediving?
Really, take it easy. Take it easy. It's a simple message. I mean, it is not this important, okay? Freediving is not this important. Then, of course, me, I have a complete different life, and let's say my ambitions in life are completely different than to be the best in this or to be the best in that. Like, if you do good, you're the best anyway, okay? So, try first not do bad, okay? So, listen to your instructor. Process what the instructor say, try to understand what the instructor is teaching you. Whatever you don't understand, ask the instructor and build up, make an effort. You know, when we were talking about that, the instructor is making an effort to teach you. Make an effort to understand the technique and understand that freediving will be completely enjoyable when you make even more efforts than the instructor on yourself for simply recognizing I will never be the best, like look, Alexei, you know, or Robert Nietzsche. These guys are going to insane depths. They had like a dream that I may never had, okay? So don't compare yourself to the other ones. Go slow and eventually try to really work on yourself instead of working on freediving, work like looking 60 different videos on YouTube. Just follow what your instructor say, integrate it, try it, get the recognition of your instructor, be successful, receive the teaching, get the transmission in, and then eventually go and see another instructor.
Okay, so
this is why I appreciate so much Herbert Nietzsche, you know, because people ask why you never wrote a book, why you don't say how you die, what are your preparation, and he says because if I do that, people will, in the best case, just become as good as me. Okay, and the key, the real key for life of freediving, because for me freediving is a way, okay, is a way, it's like a tool, okay, is beyond, go beyond. And like this is the fulfillment. It's not to reach 136 meters, is to go beyond what you've observed and recognized as being first your boundaries and then your limits.
Okay, so the result is actually might be a number, but in the beginning it's actually going beyond your own limits.
Yes.
Okay.
If you know the number, before, you can process, you can generate that stress. I'm gonna dive 100. Cool. This number is generating stress. Okay. Excellent. I can go beyond my stress, and the numbers are just a result.
Okay. And a nice thing you said as well, listen to your teacher, which means take a teacher.
Yes.
So that's the first step, take a teacher. And as we all know, there are so many YouTube videos in which the content is super, super low.
Yeah.
And people can just lose themselves. So just take a teacher, take care of yourself, take the recognition that you said as well, become an observer.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
I believe also it's nice if the teacher you get is adapted to what you want to achieve. If you are a diver that struggles to go from 50 to 60 and you go and see an instructor that never really passed 45, you won't be able, like the teacher won't be able to sweat his knowledge. You won't be able to feel the invisible teaching of the guy who did it, you know. Maybe he will have more difficulties to explain, but the fact that you are in his presence will change something. Okay. This happens with Zen also. My master could have been reading the phone book, You know, it's not what he said, but to be in his presence and observe everything, how he was doing, his attitude, the words he chooses, to be in proximity, you know, maybe of his energy field, was doing an unconscious work. So it's not only conscious progression, you have to invest also on the unconscious progression. Dream about it, visualize it, wish it.
That's what you think is about living as well. It's not just freediving in life, it's actually a combination.
Yes.
So when you think about the monk and you as Loïc, okay, what are the 3 things that actually really make you happy?
Yeah, it's cool. I told you, I worked that question.
Yeah. So I take one before. So first of all, I can unofficially congratulate to be like the actually world record holder, or how can we say that? The overall ranking best of AIDA in 2020?
Yes, this is it. We have to be really precise with that thing. Because I asked the board of AIDA, a little bit Machiavellically sneaky, you know, can I pull them out, can I pull out of their mouth this world champion word? No, unfortunately.
But in the overall ranking,
I
if
am
you
number
count all
one
points
of the
together,
overall AIDA ranking for 2020. To be world champion, hang on, I need to go through a sacrament.
Okay.
So this is where competition and religion are really the same.
So then we just keep it like this, okay? Yeah. Like in other sports, you kind of the world champion for a year, and then it's changing next year again.
Yeah.
In freediving, they mostly only look on the numbers, and they either become world record in AIDA, and if it's not possible anymore, they go to CIMAS, or do it somewhere else.
I don't do that. I don't do that. Yeah. The importance, actually, that I discovered just these days, because I was wondering, I'm like, shit, I would like to say I'm world champion, you know, but no. Why? Because there is no ceremony, there is no ritual, there is no sacrament. During the World Championship, you have the Molkanova Prize, so you have a ceremony, a public ceremony, where a higher authority gives you this title. Okay, so I missed, I succeeded competitively speaking, but I failed into the religious aspect of the freediving competition that I was ignoring. It's very religious. So
all
these
I was
guys that
actually
are diving out
now
projecting
a little bit like there's 3 things that make you happy. It doesn't have to be this situation. But what are the 3 things that actually make you happy?
Excellent. Past, present, and future. These are the 3 things that make me happy. Of course, I can develop a little bit. The past is the beautiful life we lived all the way here. All our childhood, the life of our parents, the history of humanity. That can change every day, okay? Make it beautiful. If the past is shitty, your future is going to be shitty, okay? Now, the present moment, I'm enjoying your company, we're laughing, we're feeling that, you know, like sparkles of energy inside of us because we are having fun talking about concepts. And of course, the future is beautiful and makes me happy. My daughter, the next generation, the future of the world. I am not one of these guys who's going to believe what the TV says. Oh, it's going to be even worse in 2021. Like, tomorrow is going to be awful. And before we were monkeys slaughtering mammoths to eat. It's like, how can you be happy if in these 3 times that make your life, none of them is completely fulfilled? The past, the present, and the future are the 3 treasures that will make your happiness. And if your past is not cool, change it.
Is there another physical luxury you have? Like cappuccino, for example?
Oh, yes.
Does it make you happy too?
Yeah. You know, I like cappuccino. I like a lot of things, yes. I like a lot of things.
And there are many things actually in the past, in the present, and in the future.
Yes. I'm already looking forward to have Port Charlotte 57 degree with my dad in Switzerland, like a single malt. I'm looking forward to eventually smoke some weed with one of my friends in the future. But for now, my only vice is a cappuccino.
Yes. So we say the present, huh?
Yes.
Okay. So then, Loïc, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much
No,
for
thank you, Timo.
for reading out of your internal books, I will just call them. And yeah, I hope to see you soon.
I hope to
and
see you
if
soon
anybody
too.
actually wants to get in contact with you, how do they do that?
I have a website called deepzen.net.
Okay.
On the one that I update, I have a Facebook page, Deep Zen Meditation and Freediving.
Yeah.
Because Deep Zen, I realize, is pre-taken word. Okay, Deep Zen music for meditation. Deep Zen is now also synthetic voice.
Okay.
Okay, so Deep Zen Freediving, if you Google that or Bing that, depending what you do, you will find me easily. Loïc Vuillemin, the monk Kosho.
Okay. Otherwise, I will just attach your homepage.
Yeah, you know,
well.
I eventually look innocent, but I take care of my image when I go and make a diagnostic of my cybernetic life, and I type Loïc Vuillemin. I'm really happy to fill the full page of Google,
Okay.
so I'm not unfindable.
Okay,
And else I'm in Sharm el-Sheikh, but because of my monk condition and master condition, I like more the people to contact me before than to jump in, because indeed
You can give workshops in Switzerland, for example,
yeah, I
Europe
give
and
workshops
France.
in Switzerland,
and,
sometimes in Quebec or in Holland or in France. But I like when the people want to come and receive my teaching, that they make the effort of taking contact before, not jumping on me.
All right, cool.
Avoid the people who are looking for a cheap psychanalyst or psychiatrist.
Okay, perfect. Then I would just say thank you very much, Loïc. It's been a pleasure. I think we just order another cappuccino and for me another espresso.
Yes.
Enjoy a little bit the Red Sea as well, yeah?
Excellent.